Hey YouTube, Warbles on a lot here with a mad scientist movie. I wish to announce the final results of my most recent politician race. What do you mean you don't know what a politician race is? I thought everybody was familiar with the genre. An old-fashioned politician race takes advantage of the fact that whereas emails may be discarded, deleted or declared to be spam, if you send a paper hard copy via snail mail generated on a typewriter direct using the postage system to your politician, and when your hard copy arrives in their postal system, it gets time and date stamped, and they are obliged to reply in hard copy. So, as I explained in an earlier video titled Ebola, Glen Innes Examiner Beats New Scientist Mag, as I was writing the letter to the town's newspaper, I decided, or it was suggested to me, that I should send copies of the letter to the Examiner's editor on to my state and federal politicians against the possibility that the newspaper may see fit not to print the letter. And that's what I did. Immediately after I hand delivered this to the Examiner's editor, I took myself off to the post office and I snail mailed the original of this to Barney Baby Joyce, Australia's Agriculture Minister, who is my federal Member of Parliament, simultaneously posting a copy of this to Adam Marshall, who is my state Member of Parliament, and also I posted the original written in green ink to the local Greens candidate, young Mercurius Goldstein. And having unleashed the barrage, I then sat back to wait and see what the response would be and who would respond first and who would respond most promisingly. First pleasant surprise was that the town newspaper, 3 days after I delivered my letter, managed to print almost the entire letter over somebody else's name. But that doesn't really matter. So in the finest of traditions of manipulative sports reporters and literary hooks, we will first unveil Stone Motherless Last, the National Party sitting member for the Northern Tablelands, young fellow me lad with the winning smile, who said, I write in response to your letter dated 20 October 2014 regarding your concerns for the management of a possible outbreak of the Ebola virus. I have noted your concerns and have made direct representations on your behalf to the Minister for Health, the Honourable Gillian Skinner MP, seeking her attention and advice on the issues you have raised. Thank you for writing to me with your concerns, and once I receive a response from the Minister, I will be in contact with you again. Yours sincerely, Adam Marshall. Okay, so he came in last in terms of line honours, but he has promised to get back to me after the Minister has thought about my theory of how Ebola survivors nursed in public hospitals should be conscripted to act as nurses' aides because there is no health insurance coverage for Ebola. The politician who came second was the National Party Minister for the Agriculture, the Honourable Barney Baby Joyce. Thank you for your letter of 20 October 2014 with attachments including a copy of your letter to the editor of the Glen Innes Examiner in which you outlined your suggestion to tackle the Ebola virus outbreak. I like the word attachments. He's admitted that I sent each politician a copy of everybody else's letter, as well as the letter to the editor. The contents of your letters have been noted, and I appreciate receiving your comments. I have written to the Minister for Health and Minister for Sport, the Honourable Peter Dutton MP, drawing his attention to your proposal and asking for his advice. Thank you once again for writing, and I will contact you when I have received a reply from the Minister. Kind regards, yours sincerely, Barney Baby Joyce. So that's twice, two different levels that the National Party are going to get back to me after they've had some time to think about it. Not a bad result there. Well, those of you with a gift for mathematical and logical reasoning will have no doubt deduced that in the three politician race, we've seen the last contender, we've seen the middle contender, therefore The race was won by the Australian Greens. Mercurius Goldstein, who appears here in a newspaper coverage of his concerns about the Liberal National Party's vandalism to the TAFE system, technical and further education colleges. Lucky to have kept this paper, otherwise I might have had to use this photograph of him performing in a dramatic presentation by the local Arts Council. But anyway, Mercurius did have a bit of a local advantage in that I posted the letter in Glen Innes, and the Glen Innes post office sent it to the Glen Innes High School, so he probably got my letter before the newspaper had printed it in the paper. So we zoom in on the October timeline. We have on the 20th the writing and the postage and the delivery of the letter to the editor. We come over here to the 23rd and we have the letter being printed in the Examiner. It was 5 days after printing, the other side of a weekend, on the 28th of October. While going about my business in the main street, I looked out the door of the newsagent and there was Mercurius Goldstein taking off his bicycle riding helmet and resting his sitting down running machine against the wall, catching my eye and calling me over for a personal response, which was to thank me for having sent the material to him, confessing that as a candidate intending to contest the next election, it was way above his sort of level of ability to do anything about other than send it to head office and see what comes out of it. So in effect, all three contenders in the politician race have said the same, but the Greens got in first with a personal response, said it first, said it fastest. And we shall see what we shall see as to whether the Nationals are prepared to pay attention to somebody who votes Green, because the idea might be a good one. So, there you go. For your edification and bemusement, for your humorous diversion, I present to you the results of the Ebola politician race. The Greens won, the Nationals came second and last in line honours, and we'll see if any of them does anything significant about the suggestion. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.